Good morning and welcome to Forward Not Fetal, my daily vlog where sometimes I am better at being on top of it. I am trying to get back on the routine of chatting at the camera in the morning. I'm going to adjust myself because I'm slipping into my little throne chair, as Carol likes to call it. It's very comfortable, but it really needs to be reupholstered, and I'm just not up for that gig right now. I've got so many projects. But I am It is a fresh month. I've actually been doing quite a bit. It can be complicated because there's a certain amount of there's not a lot of satisfaction in adulting sometimes where it's like, yes, I've done the bare basics to survive finally, but I'm doing them and I'm trying to do them on a higher level than I have been. Just trying to, I guess, like, it's very weird because the combination of pregnancy and then having a kid early with, because I had preeclampsia and I had an emergency C-section after they induced me and shit wasn't going well. Um, like, it's fairly traumatic, even though, like, I got incredible, like, health care. I don't have any regrets around that. But, like, it was hard. And, the postpartum period is a train wreck at the best of times. Not sleeping, totally not prepared. We hadn't done any of, like, the classes or anything. We were, like, I'd been preparing, but I thought I had a little bit more time. Did not have time, turned out. And I felt like I was just behind on everything forever. And, I had postpartum anxiety. I started all of this being. Excuse me. I started having generalized anxiety disorder, so I just have anxiety. I've done good work. And then I'm going to sneeze again because apparently it's ragweed season. And what I enjoy most about the South is that there is something in every season for me to be allergic to. Thanks. Um, but also I hear a rhythmic thumping where he's down for his nap, but he's not like asleep, but he's very tired, so he's happily thumping. We're just gonna let him roll with that and see how it happens. Anyways, what was I talking about? Depression, anxiety, postpartum anxiety and depression are very real and really suck. And so when you take all of the combination of factors, it doesn't feel great. And it takes a while to like come back to yourself, like getting enough sleep. All of a sudden you do feel more accomplished. And then there's a certain amount of like when they're really little, the like you don't have to do a whole lot with them, but like you're freaked out all the time because like they're so little. And they didn't give you a manual when you left. They just handed you that baby. They didn't like test and make sure you knew what the fuck you were doing. No, no, they're just like, here you go. That was scary. But also, you know, we did it, and he is about to turn 18 months, which is, and I am feeling better. I come in and out. It's not like my mental health is perfection at any given time, but I have a really lovely psych therapist type that I see, and I am absolutely medicating because my brain does not make all of the little chemicals that it needs to make to function at its best. And so if you don't make your own, store bought is fine. And so I use store bought, and it really helps. I also have treatment for my ADHD, and I have been less good about some of my coping skills with that because, like, kids, man, they throw off whatever the heck you think you're going to be doing. You're not. Just let go of those expectations. So I am the last 2 weeks. I have been trying to a combination of literally writing down the things I want to accomplish, which can be hard because like I'm queen of making these huge overwhelming lists of everything I might ever possibly want to do and being like, wow, I didn't do everything. So I'm really trying to focus on like changing habits and I like I, instead of doing things the easiest way possible, I'm trying to figure out the most efficient over a longer term, if that makes sense. So it's slightly more complicated to make um, a meal that has several components that then can become multiple meals. And so in the moment, it's a little bit more, but over the week, it is less overall by having like done things like cooked the chicken. So now we have 3 nights worth of chicken, or making rice. Like, don't make a night's worth. Which I mean, I feel like these are things that other people do very well, and like I'm horribly late in this, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. It's where I am, and I'm trying to improve from where I am. And so, if anybody wants to give me guff, I don't really care because I'm just trying to do better for myself and for my family. Um, and so I'm trying to be, and some of it's silly things like I'm sitting down with the weekly ad flyer for Aldi because they have really good prices on stuff. So it's like, oh, the grapes are on sale this week. Well, I'm going to get grapes because I'm also trying to increase our fruit and vegetable intake. Because I'm just putting together meals is complicated and trying to figure out like how to create a balanced meal and like realizing I have a kid to feed and a kid to model behavior for. So I want that. I just want I want to up our game, and it'll also make us healthier. We're not spring chickens, so it's kind of up to us to make sure that the kiddo has parents for as long as possible, which is not going to happen if we don't take better care of ourselves. Not to be grim, but it's true. And so it's very odd because it feels like I don't know, like I mean, I'm old enough that I took home ec, but like I don't feel like there was like basic cooking, but like there wasn't like meal planning, and I kind of feel like that would actually be an incredible skill to teach young people because yeah, it's hard. So anyway, what I've been doing is looking at the flyer because like one, it helps conserve finances because we need to do that. But then it also, by narrowing, it gives me a place to focus where I can be like, oh, these 4 vegetables are on sale. Well, I don't like 2 of them, but I like this other one. Last week, I got Brussels sprouts, and last night, technically they were in a microwave bag, but they were cut. I cut them in half and cut the little ugly butts off, and then I roasted them with a little olive oil, salt, and pepper, and they were very good. And so I got no regrets on that. That turned out really well. It only ended up being like 2 portions for, Scott and I, which was fine in the grand scheme of things. But like part of me, like when I roast sweet potatoes, I roast a lot because like the kid loves them. We really like them. And it, like roasting it once means cooking once, it means washing those dishes once, and then having it available for whatever the heck we want. Which reminds me, I have to get sweet potatoes tomorrow. Anyway, um, and next year I'm gonna try and grow my own because they seem pretty easy. What I didn't realize, and this is just gonna be random because this is a day of just rambling because I have been very, very brief lately. I'd say sorry, but that's my vlog. I was having a time. Um, Sweet potatoes are not a fall crop. Potatoes, like regular potatoes, are totally a fall crop. But I had some I had some sweet potatoes that had perhaps started sprouting, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna plant these. And then when I looked them up to see, because I was like, oh, like what's the best practice for this? They're like, don't plant it in the fall. This is actually a warm weather like thing. This is a spring thing, and I was like, well, all right. I have a sense that I will probably sprout another sweet potato in my life. And so I'm just going to do that in the fall because I really like sweet potatoes. The kid really likes sweet potatoes. And I believe Scott really likes sweet potatoes. They've got lots of yumminess in them. So I'm trying to up the vegetable game and the fruit game, and by using the like what's on sale as a way to push me to experiment, um, and to be like, and to pick one thing. So it's not like, well, I bought all these vegetables and now is a 50-50 chance of them turning to goo in the refrigerator. Um, it's, I bought this one item, I'm going to make it. Oh, and because I did, so every so often on YouTube, we'll watch like cooking shows, like Bon Appetit and just this stuff. And we happened to see something about the Juicy Lucy burger, and I'd never heard of it before. But basically, what it is it's a burger, and you put the cheese inside. You got to use American apparently, which I'm actually a fan of in things because it gets really melty. And so I made Juicy Lucy burgers last night, and oh my god, they were really good. They were really good. And I kind of, because I don't like following recipes. So, I mean, I do with baking, but a lot of times I'm like, I'm gonna just do my own thing. So I did season the meat with like a little soy sauce, a little sriracha, and a little ketchup for kind of just. It seemed like a good flavor thing, and it was awesome. And you're supposed to use like the 73% beef to make it really juicy, and holy, it was incredibly juicy. They were very nice. The first one I struggled. I broke it a little bit, so the cheese kind of got a little escapey. But it worked out really well. I think I could have done a little less meat and a little thinner for like a little bit better like cheese to meat ratio. But in the grand scheme of things, it was very good. And I have no regrets. None. It was delicious. So good. And we have two in the fridge because, again, it made as much sense to make four. Also, because I needed to cook that beef, but it made as much sense to make four as it did to make two. So it's sort of like I've only dirtied those things once. Anyway, so this has gotten long. My goal for October is to increase my habits that I want to have versus anything else. So the stuff that makes our life better, I'm trying to be more on point with. And then in November, and it's actually going to be very difficult because I have not been able to successfully write very often at all, like twice. And I haven't really finished anything, which is just really kind of heartbreaking for me. But I'm going to do NaNoWriMo. I'm not going to I'm not actually trying to write a 50K novel just because I kind of know, because I've decided not to. I'm going to plot this month 2 to 3 novellas. And my goal is I will have a separate vlog that every day I will talk about my NaNoWriMo and writing in progress. And yeah, it's very odd because I feel, as much as I know that this is mostly like talking to people I could just tell, but for some reason when I do a vlog about something, I feel way more accountable for like having to do something. As weird as that sounds. Like, it forces me to be, I think about it more and I feel more compelled. Because, like, I think this is like 136. I've been doing this for almost 5 months of daily vlogging. And that is like a huge follow through for me. Like, that's insane. So I'm going to make it harder in November and do it 2 times, along with writing 1,667 words a day, roughly. I'm going to try to front load it as much as I can just because I know me. And I am going to prepare plots because I do find it easier if I've thought through story that you just get stuck less often. And it's possible one of the little projects will be this like little comedy, more of a short story, and I'm not even sure what genre it is entirely. Probably more in the sci-fi fantasy realm because there's no like normally I write romance and It's not a romance. It's just like a little story nub that I've had, and I don't quite know what I would do with it. But I think I'm gonna write it anyway, just because it's mine, and that might be a nice way to ease into it of like this little story that I'm intrigued by, and I don't know what I'll do with it. Oh, it'll be for me. I don't really care. So so yeah, I am today. I was originally going to go grocery shopping this morning, but because they didn't put the flyer out last night, so I couldn't look at it, and I was just like, you know what? I like to plan these things, as weird as it is, so I'm not going to stress myself. I It seems to be a really nice day. I think after, I'm not sure if it'll be after morning nap or afternoon. I feel like it'll have to be morning nap because it'll be too crabby. But walking to the park that is nearby with the little playground so that he can get a good run in. So I think that is the goal for the day. I have to. I think there were other things. I don't remember what they were. I wrote them down somewhere. Anyway, so it's Wednesday. We're 3 days into the new month. It took me a little while to get the swing of it, but I'm hoping to have a pretty amazing week, and I hope you do too. And I will talk to you tomorrow for a shorter period of time.